Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got some NBA picks for you. This is going to be for the Thursday NBA slate on November 7th. Honestly, this slate isn't that great. It's only a 3-game slate, and the matchups are whatever. But we do have 4 plays. We wanted to get 4 plays at least for you. And so, yeah, I feel good about the plays that we've got. But yeah, it's just not the most exciting slate. So I just wanted to let you know that yeah, it's a little bit of slim pickings today. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We always like to let the community know when we're working on our videos so you know it's coming. If you're subscribed and you have your notifications on. If you guys don't mind, just do us a favor and like the video. We really appreciate the support. You're helping us grow. We're on our way to 12,000 subs, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for that. And as always, if you have any questions about particular props, just drop us a comment. Jordy and I will try to get back to you the best we can. So let's talk about our partners real quick. Underdog and Parlay Play. We're still running a special for Parlay Play. If you sign up and you use code Backdoor, Parlay Play is going to give you a 100% deposit match up to $100 plus a $5 promo slip. And then on top of that, as long as you use the code, which we'll be able to confirm with Parlay Play, we'll give you 30 days in our premium Discord as well. So if you decide to go for that deal, again, make sure you use the code Backdoor and then just email us at bdfantasysports@gmail.com and just allow 24 hours for Parlay Play to confirm that the code was used. And then we'll just get your Discord username and we'll be good to go. We'll need your Parlay Play username when you first email us as well. We'll get you right in as soon as we can confirm with Parlay Play. And then for Underdog, the special they have going is if you use code Backdoor, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. And both of these platforms are killing it with alt lines, plays as low as $1. Just all sorts of good stuff going on both of these platforms. So yeah, there's a link in the description of the video if you want to check any of our partners out. All right, so the plays I've decided on Parlay Play, I'm going with Naz Reid. I like his fantasy score the best. There's multiple options that I'll talk to you about that you can pivot to if you don't want the whole fantasy score. But again, I just want a little bit of everything. So I'm going to be taking that for more. And then Patrick Williams, I like him to go over 3.5 rebounds. We're getting that on Parlay Play. On Underdog, we're also getting the 3.5 rebounds. For Naz Reid, they don't have his fantasy score, so I like his points rebounds. I actually feel really equally good about the points rebounds as the fantasy score. So you can take either of those, but on Prizepicks, I'm going fantasy score for Naz Reid and Patrick Williams. The rebounds are at 4, but I still like it to go over. What are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, so for my plays, I'm going to be going with Nikola Vucevic for over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And I'm taking Deni Avdija for over 10.5 points. We're getting all the same lines on all the same on all the platforms. So, yep, pretty easy.
All right. I think I can hear your penguin.
Oh, can you?
When you're talking. It's not a big deal, but I was notice
sacrifices have to be made for Christmas. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Naz Reid. So he's been kind of heating up over the last 5 games, playing like we expect him to. The dude is a baller. So he's coming off this massive game against Charlotte, which is a soft matchup, so I'm not going to overblow it. But fantasy score wise, went for 43.8 fantasy score on 26 minutes. He's kind of sitting right in that 25-minute mark as far as minutes go. I wish he was getting more, but it makes sense the way they're utilizing him. Shooting 61% from the field, averaging 9.2 attempts per game. Wish that was a little bit higher, but if you're in that 10 attempts range for where this line set, I'm happy with it. Only 1.8 fouls per game. Not really getting enough minutes to get into foul trouble. If he was, that would be really bad. But in the 25 minutes, staying under 2 fouls per game is solid, so you don't have anything to worry about there. Great free throw shooter, not getting to the line very often, 2.2 attempts per game, but 91%. So and then the 3-pointers, he's a great 3-point shooter, 45% right now, averaging 2 made per game on 4.4 attempts. The main reason I like these, the fantasy score though, is He's only had one game where he had a lot of turnovers, and that was against the Mavericks. And that was kind of like a random game. He typically has 0 or 1. And then as far as turnovers forced, it's not really much of a threat. 22nd in turnovers forced to power forwards. And then, so we don't have to worry about the turnovers like messing up our fantasy score. So they have, does he always play center? I think he plays power forward too, doesn't he? Sometimes he's out there with Rudy.
Yeah, he moves around.
Yeah, he plays the 4 and the 5. They have him listed as a center on here, but so yeah, the matchup for turnovers against centers is a little bit better because if he's matched up with Vucevic, 8th in turnovers forced, but still it doesn't really concern me. He's pretty careful with not turning the ball over. But for blocks and steals, he's not like super active, but it's enough to make it worth it for me for fantasy. Like he's coming off that game against Charlotte where he had a block and a steal, and then nothing against the Spurs. And then against Denver, he had 3 blocks, and then, 1 against Dallas, 1 against Toronto. So the ratio is there as far as, with every block and every steal for fantasy score, you get 3 points per block and steal. So that can stack up pretty quick if you're getting 2 or 3 of those. Even if you get 1 or 2 turnovers, you're still looking at like 6 or 7 fantasy points that you're netting. And then the matchup against centers for blocks and steals is solid. 20th in steals allowed, 27th in blocks allowed. If he's playing the 4, it's a little bit, it's not quite as juicy. 8th in steals allowed, 14th in blocks allowed. And then overall as a team though, 25th in steals allowed, 23rd in blocks allowed. So just they're pretty careless overall. Chicago is. So yeah, I'm feeling good about this going over. If we hop over to Daily Grind, they have his blocks and steals as the best play on the board, juice to go over, 53.01%, minus 134 according to Daily Grind. Everyone that has this prop has it juice to go over. I don't really want to take this just by itself because anything can happen. But if the blocks and steals are that juice to go over, give me that fantasy score. Because then I'm getting everything, points, rebounds, assists, and then defense as well. The optimizer doesn't like the fantasy score because it's up at 24. The only other platform that it's showing right now is BetMGM at 23.4. That doesn't scare me off. It's just favoring it to go under 51.88%. If he hits those 2 blocks and steals, we're looking at 6 points right there. So that's probably part of it, is it's a little bit baked into the price because you can get his PRA. I think his PRA is at 19.5 though. So if he cashes his 19.5, which I don't think they like, they have that favor to go under as well. The points and rebounds at 18. Yeah, Prizepicks just has all of his props a little bit more expensive. They like the points to go over 12. It's because we have some odds makers setting it at 12.5 already. So go with your gut. They like his assists to go over 1.5. I think that is actually a pretty good deal, but he's usually capping at 2 assists per game. Even if you go back and look, let me just pull this up real quick. We can just go like rebounds and assists, for example, here on Outlier. If we look at his potential assists over this 5-game stretch, he's at 2.2 potential assists. So he's not really passing the ball that often. I know in these last 2 games, he had 4 and 3, but even if he has 4, you need those 4 players that get the ball to cash their shots for you to hit those 2 assists. So I don't really like it, even though it's favored to go over. He's the type of player that I just want a little bit of everything because he can surprise you and go for like 7, 8 boards. He can get hot shooting. The most he's going to give you is like 2, maybe 3 assists, but he can get active on defense. So I like the fantasy score overall. And then, so yeah, full transparency. Yeah, I think I mentioned it, 51.88% odds to hit the under. We always talk about it, but the fantasy scores are the one thing that you have to really go with your own narrative. The optimizer is great for putting stuff on your radar, and you can still compare that line to other platforms when you're using the optimizer. But the fantasy score is the number one option on the optimizer where you kind of have to like think differently and understand why they're coming to that conclusion because it's crunching numbers, right? So, all right, let's talk about the next play. I love this at 3.5 for Patrick Williams rebounds. I mean, he's gone this over, he's gone for the 6 out of 8 games so far in 2024, 75% hit rate. Overall, The matchup is a little bit tough with Minnesota 7th in rebounds allowed, but if you go to his exact position, it's 14th, so a little bit more middle of the road. Let's see, is okay. So yeah, no injuries on the side of Minnesota, but we just need 4 from him. So 4 to cash. On Prizepicks, that'll be a push, but I think he can get over that. And on Prizepicks, the push, it's not like they're just refunding your whole slip. At least they'll just downgrade your slip if you have a 3-man or higher. But he's gone for 5 or more 75% of the time, and then there's a little bit of a soft spot in the actual matchup. Let's see. And yeah, as far as the center goes, 10th in rebounds allowed is like above average, but it's nothing that scares me off too much. So yeah, averaging 27.4 minutes per game, just 1.5 fouls, so we don't have to worry about getting in foul trouble. 8.8 rebound chances per game is what he's averaging. So he's actually doing a pretty good job of grabbing the ball when he's getting the opportunity to. That's actually a pretty good success rate there. So I feel good about him. I love it at 3.5. We're getting it at 3.5 on Underdog and Parlay Play. If we take a look at the DFS optimizer, their favorite plays is PRA under 15. I don't really like taking unders unless it's super obvious, but this is just too low for me to feel comfortable taking the under, but go with your gut. The optimizer loves it. They don't like the rebounds because, again, we're getting it at 4. I have it set to Prizepicks right now, so they're noticing that there's like a decrease in value there compared to other platforms. So they have it at a 51.73% odds to hit the under, but I don't think this dude is going for 3 rebounds, so I'm not taking the under on 4. So that's the kind of stuff that you just have to sort of be like, okay, I get how this thing works, but you have to use your own narrative, build your own narrative around the plays. So I'm happy taking this for more. Worst case scenario on Prizepicks is we get a push, but if we did get a push, that would be the 3rd time this season. That would be the 3rd time this season that he's gone for under 5. So I'm liking this play a lot. If you guys, I guess that covers everything. If you guys do want to check out Outlier, this is great for helping you make these types of decisions. I actually personally love like the way they've got the bright green and red. It kind of reminds me a little bit of stock trading, and it helps you identify patterns. So they just give you so much information, matchups, injury reports, insights about the players. If you guys want to try this out, you can try it for free. Just go through the link in the description of the video for Outlier, and they're going to give all of our viewers just 7 days to try it out for themselves. That's how much they believe in it, is like once you try it, you'll just want to like subscribe. So they're happy to give you a week to see for yourself what they have to offer. But yeah, that covers my plays. I'll pass it over to Jordy.
All right. Yeah. Well, to get into mine here, watching a little bit of a CS match there, but to get into mine, I've got Nikola Vucevic for over 29.5 PRA. I feel great about this line. I was looking at his fantasy score too. I like both, honestly, but I like the PRA just a little bit more. But the fantasy score does look nice. So if you want the full fantasy score, I would gladly take it too. I might throw both in, but I'm going to cover the PRA here because the PRA is just looking a little bit more guaranteed, honestly, with how he's been playing. If you want to look at the defensive shares that he has, there are games where he can go off, right? Like, I mean, in this matchup, he's gone for 4 blocks one time and 2 blocks the other time. So, you know, he's capable of being that defensive monster. So if you like the full fantasy score, you can take that. But I like the PRA just as much, honestly. I like them both. Because if you look here, he does turn the ball over sometimes, so that always hurts the fantasy score, but not like a whole ton. So I like them both, but I'm going to talk about the PRA here. This matchup is really sweet. 27th in points allowed, 10th in rebounds allowed, 22nd in assists allowed. This is a guy who can do it all, so I want the full PRA here at 29.5. He's just been cashing this like every game. He just finally missed it against Dallas. Of course, you know, the dual-headed monster they have at center is just really hard to keep up and keep your center you know, energized against that team, because they have 2 guys who come in with fresh legs all the time, and they're both just as good as one another. So it's really tough to match up against Dallas, but in this matchup against Rudy, he matches up really well against Rudy. Vooch is, you know, he does really well. So if you look at the matchup here, in both of these matchups in the head-to-heads, He's gone for 32 and 33 PRA in this matchup, so he doesn't struggle scoring the ball. He doesn't really struggle too much rebounding, and he is finding a whole bunch of assists in this matchup. He had 6 assists in the last matchup, 2 in the one before that. So really liking what I'm seeing here from this play for Vooch. If we look at this on Daily Grind, his PRA is juiced to go over to 50.73% chance at a minus 121. Some people have it up at a minus 129, 122. So just go with your gut. If you don't like it, you don't have to take it, but I think the matchup looks great for Vooch, and he's cashed it in 7 out of 8 games this year. So he's on a roll. He's off to a red hot start. No Lonzo Ball. Zach LaVine's a game time decision, so they might lean on him for more scoring tonight for sure if Zach LaVine's out. So liking this play a lot. If we go over to my next play now, I've got Deni Avdija for over 10.5 points. I feel good about this one too. He set this in 5 out of 8 games. Great matchup against San Antonio tonight. 23rd in points allowed to small forwards. In the head-to-head, he's gone for 16 and 9. That was obviously when he was with Washington. His minutes were a lot sketchier back then. The Washington minute share is just not great. This year he's averaging 27.3 minutes a game, so he's definitely getting more time consistently. I like this play a lot. I mean, as long as he doesn't get into like foul trouble, which he hasn't been at all this year, I like it a lot. And he does get to the free throw line quite a bit, and he's shooting 87% from the free throw line. He's shooting 18% from 3, which has been a little lackluster, a little lackadaisical for sure, but from the floor he's shooting 34%, so his percentages are definitely down right now, but hopefully against this soft matchup he can I guess get it up tonight, get his percentages up. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully Deni Avdija has a good shooting night here. And if we look at this one on Daily Grind, I had it pulled up somewhere. There it is. His points are juiced to go over 51.41% chance and a minus 124. Pretty much across the board is a minus 125 for all the other odds makers. So feeling good about Deni Avdija in this matchup for sure. Like I said, soft matchup, decent looking head to head. So on a boring slate like this, I'm gonna throw my chips in on Deni Avdija for sure. So that's gonna cover it for me. If you guys want to check out Daily Grind, it's this optimizer here. As you can see, they're loaded up. I was looking at CS2 plays. That's the cool thing about this. You can go to leagues and hit select all, and it'll show you everything for Dota 2, NBA, NFL, NHL, UFC, anything you can think of here. They'll show you what they're liking the most, and they'll give you all the odds right here for all the odds makers. The optimizer is awesome, so we highly recommend it. If you guys want to check this out, there's a link in the description below. If you want to lock this in for whether it's a month, 3 months, or a year, they'll give you 25% off of that very first purchase. So when you're first locking it in for the first time, they'll give you 25% off no matter how long you want to lock it in for. So we always recommend locking in for the extended amount of time so you get to really learn it and get the full use out of it. But it's totally up to you. Just use code Backdoor at checkout and they'll give you that 25% off. And then if you guys want to check out Chalkboard, they're kind of like Parlay Play. They don't have a desktop app sadly, but they do have a whole ton of alt lines like Parlay Play does. So you can go over there and pick, and they have really good multipliers on their alt lines as well. And they also have like 6 specials a day, so they'll have like 6 for the NBA, 6 for the NFL. I'm sure they have a ton of them out tonight for all the other sports and stuff. So they're a lot of fun as well. They're mobile only right now, but definitely worth checking out if you're looking to diversify what you're playing on. Go use code Backdoor over there, and they'll give you a 100% match up to $100, and they'll give you a free play to help you cash your first slip. And that's going to cover it all for me.
All right. Well, if you guys want to come join us on our Discord, you can use the Parlay Play promo that we're running right now, or you can just go right through Patreon, which manages our subscriptions. We work together as a team in here. We vet plays together. If anybody in our community finds a play, we have a section in our Discord for them to post it and us all to kind of like chat about it. So we build out plays together. We almost hit a second half 6-man last night. I haven't posted in here yet. I got the double up, but Jordy was watching it with me. We needed Booker. I needed, I took Booker over 17.5 PRA in the second half because he was hot, and everything else on the 6-man hit, and Booker was at 17, goes to the free throw line with 4 seconds left, misses his first one, hits his second one, and then 0.5 to me. But those second half slips are a lot of fun. And that's what's kind of fun about being in the community is we get into stuff like that together, probably get into some second half tonight, I'm sure. But yeah, so if you guys want to come join us, we do have a lot of fun. We've got an extra analyst in here, Moose. We've got Boston Nick, our beat reporter. I'm just calling him that from now on. That's pretty much what he is. But yeah, if you sign up through Patreon, you just go into the settings. And then once you're in the settings, you go to the connected apps option in the menu bar. And then you just sign into your Discord right there on Patreon. It'll unlock the channel for you. And then hop in the community chat. Let us know you're new. You don't have to if you're shy, but we want to get to know you as a community. We're just a big family in here. So if you let us know you're new, then we can just make sure you understand how everything works. If you have questions, like, you know. So anyways, come join us. And then if you want to follow us on our socials, we're just at Backdoor FS on X, TikTok, Instagram. And you can also follow Moose, me, Jordy. All of our handles are in the description. If you want to say what's up and talk a little bit of sports online, we're on there. So that's going to cover it, guys. Again, just a 3-game slate. I think it's like, you know, we had the 15-game slate on Monday, 12 games on Wednesday, and then now going to 3 is kind of like, but at least we have football tonight too, so we can mix it up. But enjoy your Thursday night though, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Good luck, guys.